So Mitch McConnell was doing a press conference, and he was asked about the Biden agenda. He's asked about how Republicans are against raising taxes on the rich, and doesn't that make you guys kind of look like douchebags? And he says something that's incredible. He says two things that are incredible. Number one, he makes a comparison to FDR and the New Deal. And then number two, he actually says, Americans didn't ask for this. Oh, Mitch, what are you doing? Take a look.
But specifically the tax on the wealthy here that they are talking about now, that your side is going to be perceived by some voters as saying, oh, it's okay if the wealthy don't pay their taxes, it's okay if they don't get taxed. Aren't you afraid that you're going to be painted into the corner that way?
Well, the larger issue is whether the country needs a big tax increase. With regard to various pieces of it, we don't know what it's going to look like, which leads me to the second point. They do not have a mandate to do this. They're acting like this was the New Deal. Roosevelt had massive majorities, or it's the Great Society. LBJ had massive majorities. This is a 50-50 Senate, a 3-seat majority in the House. The American people are not asking for any of this.
Yes, they are. So first, look at this poll. Data for Progress. So this is a poll on whether or not we should raise taxes on the wealthy. Increasing capital gains taxes on the wealthy polls at 72% support. It's plus 52. Limiting deductions for wealthy business owners, 71% support, plus 50. Raising income taxes on the wealthy is 2%, 71% support, plus 48. Increasing IRS funding to go after the wealthy, 68% support, plus 44. Increasing taxes on large corporations, 43% support, or excuse me, 43. 43 is strong support. It's 65% support overall when you include strong support and somewhat support, and that's plus 37. But I'm not done yet. I have more for you. So when you ask about the plan more generally, I'll just give you some of these because we've been through it 100 times, but long-term care investments, 79% support. That's plus 67. Modernizing K-12 school buildings, 73% support. That's plus 55. Electricity grid modernization, plus 58. Medicare price negotiation, 73% support, plus 58. Lowering the Medicare age, 59% support. That's plus 27. Universal pre-K, 59% support. That's plus 29. Tuition-free community college, 58% support. That's plus 25. By the way, not only is Mitch McConnell wrong that the American people aren't asking for this, in some polls, even a majority of Republicans are asking for this. Even a majority of Republicans are asking for this. So this is one of the strongest pieces of legislation in terms of how it polls that I've ever seen in my life for every individual provision within the legislation. So he's just factually wrong on that. But the FDR point is hilarious. Now, to be fair to him, he's saying, like, he just means in the breakdown of the Senate. Like, they have a slim majority. They don't have the majorities that FDR had. And that's true. Biden has a slim majority. He doesn't have the majority that FDR had. But what he doesn't understand is if legislation like this in its entirety was implemented, Democrats would have that kind of a majority, assuming you, of course, limit the gerrymandering and people have their voting rights and the Republicans don't have a built-in 6-point advantage, which they currently do. Because, guys, this is my new favorite fact. I already brought it up like 3 times in the past 5 minutes, but in 1938, after FDR had been president for a little while already, Democrats controlled 80% of the House of Representatives and 80% of the Senate. And FDR got reelected 4 times because Americans got a tiny little taste of social democracy and they said, yes, yes, you're materially helping me and improving my life. I love this. I want to vote for you nonstop. Which is what happens when you materially improve people's lives. So if legislation like this got through, people's lives would be improved and then the Democrats would be rewarded at the ballot box. He flips everything on its head. He does. American people don't want this. They absolutely want it. Every poll shows that. Well, this is like, who do you think he is, FDR? By the way, that's too much of a compliment to Joe Biden. As I said, when we interviewed Professor Richard Wolff, that was one of the questions I asked him. If the $3.5 trillion bill was passed as is, is it the biggest transformation of the U.S. economy since the New Deal? His answer, yes. Now, to be fair, he went on to say, this is still like nothing compared to the New Deal. And he's correct about that. It's way more incrementalist, not strong enough compared to the New Deal, of course. But I think it says something either way that this would be the biggest transformation of the economy since the New Deal. So, God, Mitch McConnell, he has a knack of just saying things that are flat out unpopular and like not caring or knowing that they're unpopular. And he has a knack of saying things that are completely untrue, and he acts like not only are they true, but it's obviously true. He's quite a character, man. He's quite a character. The Grim Reaper himself. By the way, the only reason, here's an interesting fact about Mitch McConnell, because you might watch, you might see this guy and go, how the hell does he keep getting elected? It's actually very simple. As far as Kentucky goes, his home state, every single pork barrel project, increase in funding you can imagine, he supports for Kentucky. So in other words, socialism for me, not for thee. Money from the government, from taxpayers, for my home state, all the time, nonstop, I support it. But for the rest of the country, you can go fuck yourself. So the people in Kentucky do see a little bit of material benefit because Mitch McConnell's always going to bat for his home state only. And so that's one of the reasons why he keeps getting reelected. Because politics of Kentucky are actually fascinating. A lot of Democrats win at the state level. There's a strong element of strong history of unions and workers' rights in that state. So at the state level, a lot of Democrats still win, but Mitch McConnell keeps winning as a senator. Why? Because he materially delivers for just his home state. All we're asking, Mitch, is that the material delivery you do for your home state, you extrapolate to the rest of the country. That's all we're asking for, and that's all this bill does. So, Biden to FDR, and he thinks that's a bad thing, too. This isn't like FDR. This isn't like LBJ, the New Deal, or the Great Society. Oh, man. If it was a little stronger, it would be. But even though it's not as strong as those, it would still be the biggest transformation of the U.S. economy since the New Deal, which would be phenomenal, which is why the American people love it, even though you either don't know they love it or you think they dislike it, and you're factually wrong.